Hey guys, welcome back to Susie Says. I've been going over Gypsy's book, My Time to Lie. It's what I prefer to call it. But she calls it My Time to Stand. I'm going to be going over chapters 6, 7, and 8. And again, I'm doing 3 chapters at a time because I'm trying to knock it out of the way faster. And I'm taking forever to upload these videos because I'm too busy living my life. This book is a hard read. I keep saying that. It's kind of boring. So I'm just trying to read as much as I can and let you guys know what I found. Let's start with chapter 6. So in chapter 6, she talks about her mom's depression a lot. She talks about how her mom was struggling mentally and how her mom would steal and how her mom pretty much taught her to steal. She said her mom would just clutter the house with stuff. She talks about how her wheelchair couldn't even fit in her mother's room anymore. They had to take the doors off the hinges because she had to basically carve a way for her to get to the bedroom. That's how much stuff her mom hoarded. There's one part that she mentions in this book is one of the things her mom did when she was really depressed was put trash bags over the window. Now, she does say that these trash bags stayed after that DFS visit. Just a few chapters earlier, she mentioned that her mom put trash bags over the windows after DFS came. Now she's saying that the trash bags were there because her mom was really depressed. I mean, and again, both can be true, but I'm just not inclined to believe Gypsy. And I feel like either the trash bags were always a thing there, or she's just making it seem as though her mom was trying to hide her more after DFS came. Honestly, here's my opinion. The trash bags were always there. The trash bags were always there because her mom was trying to hide Gypsy, even before DFS came. That's my opinion. Dee Dee may have been depressed. We don't know her mental status. We'll never know. But I think the trash bags were already up because Gypsy roamed freely around the house and the mom had to hide it. And after DFS came, they were definitely going to stay up because obviously somebody saw something they shouldn't have been seeing. And that's my opinion on that. She also talks about her pill use and how her mother would have Xanax and pain medication due to a leg injury her mom had, and the Xanax was probably for depression. However, Gypsy would sneak these and take these. She said her mom knew at some point that she was taking her medications and that her mom would just let her do it because it was one way to control her. I found that very interesting because she goes on to talk about how she and her mother just would clash and they didn't get along and she was starting to rebel and her mom would let her take the pills as a way of controlling her. It makes me think like how chaotic was Gypsy? How crazy was Gypsy? Was Dee Dee scared of Gypsy? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. If she was just letting Gypsy take the pills, if that's the case, if we are to believe Gypsy. She said it got to the point where the pills was completely gone. It was too soon for the pharmacy to refill them. So her mom would create an excuse like taking her to the police station and saying they were robbed in a Walmart parking lot. Now, I remember this excuse being used before with the BB situation.
She told people that me and her were robbed in the parking lot of Walmart by this mystery robber that shot her with the BB gun.
Remember? She said, oh, they was robbed in a parking lot. How many times did Dee Dee make these complaints to the police? Honestly, I don't believe Dee Dee made this complaint to the police. But I mean, I feel like maybe these two incidents coincided because it would just be too much of a coincidence. What Walmart are they going to that's just dangerous? She said her mom would take her to the police station and say, hey, we was robbed in a Walmart parking lot. They took all my prescription pills and the pharmacy would give her more. But remember, I'm guessing later on in the story, we'll go over this again with the BB situation. I'm almost certain in a documentary, she said that they used this Walmart excuse for the BB incident. So I just don't know which one is true. Are they both true? Just curious. It's pretty hard to believe anything Gypsy says because she also goes on to talk about how she and Dan first met and how they became friends. He added her on Facebook. I don't believe that. I felt like she sought him out, but that's just my personal opinion. He added her on her secret Facebook that she had at that time. And her and Dan got along really good and that he was the first person she ever told she can walk. Now we know this is a lie because she's going to say the same thing in probably every other documentary that Nick was the first person she ever told she can walk. And even though I'm not to that chapter yet, I absolutely know she does mention that in the book. I've seen other videos about it. A few chapters from here, she's going to say Nick was the first person she ever told she could walk. So again, just Gypsy's lies. This is her time to lie. And speaking of her time to lie, one of the big pointers I took from these 3 chapters was when she started to talk about Dee Dee's abuse to her. She says it all started at the Hope Lodge in Kansas City, where they went when they was visiting doctors in that area. I guess they stayed at the Hope Lodge, probably for free, you know. But she said she had a phone, and her mom would give her a phone like you would give a child a phone to play with to keep them busy. And because her mom never really knew she had anybody to text or call. She says when they are in Kansas City at the Hope Lodge visiting doctors who's going to examine your body. This poor gypsy has everything known to mankind. She's visiting doctors while she's in Kansas City. And one time her mom was in the kitchen or something, she said, and she was in the bathroom on the phone. She said she was pacing back and forth, giddy, talking to Dan, and her mom opens the door. And she says, Dee Dee says, I leave for one moment, and this is what you do. I leave for one moment. I need more context to that. You leave with Dee Dee out of the house and left Gypsy alone by herself? Or was she in the kitchen? I just don't think, like, if I was, like, I'm right now, I'm in my living room. And if somebody was doing something in the bathroom, I wouldn't say, hey, I left for one moment. No, like, maybe I let you out of my sight. I leave. I just feel like there's more to the story. There's always more to the story to me. She said she like falls to the floor and she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She tells Dan that Gypsy is only 15 years old or something like that and takes the phone from her. She also tells Gypsy to go outside, get in the car. She takes her from the safety of confined walls where no one can see you to outside in the car. They drive to an alleyway. She even mentions that Dee Dee has to look around to make sure there's no one around. And she starts to beat Gypsy on her legs and punch her in her legs. She said there was like bruising. She never knew you could bleed without bleeding because the bruises was like underneath the skin. She said her mom beat her and was punching her over and over again. Now, this sounds very abusive. This sounds very crazy. Like, I'm sure she was still in the car. I will say, she did say they never got out the car. She drove into an alleyway and then beat her there. So, none of this makes sense. If you were going to hurt somebody, you would do it in the privacy of your own spot, not outside. I just thought that didn't make sense at all. I don't believe this part of the story. I don't believe this part of the story at all. I feel like this is her trying to find a way to make her mom look even worse. My thing is, why do this if you're going to doctor's appointments? Like, if you're worried about DFS before, you're really going to be worried now because now the doctors can see these bruises on Gypsy's leg that wasn't there literally like the day before. And the doctors didn't see this. The doctors did not see this. Not one doctor saw these bruises on your leg. Because that's the biggest thing about this story. She claims she was still abused and beat after DFS came. The abuse came after someone called it to like the DFS's attention. After that, now she's gonna beat Gypsy in case if they ever come unexpectedly again. Now Gypsy's tied to the bed and has bruises all over her legs. Like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense, Gypsy. This part is a lie. I'm not even gonna believe it. I'm not gonna believe this part of the book. Dee Dee didn't do this. Prove me wrong. The last thing I want to talk about is when she ran away. We all know the story. Dan got beat up and he was in a hospital and he texted Gypsy or called her and was like, hey, I want you to be here in the hospital with me. So she just packs up her stuff and leaves. She leaves. This is the mom that was so abusive to her. Just let her leave. Anyway, in all the documentaries I've ever seen, she always talks about how she was so fearful of leaving because her mom would find her. And how she would tell Dan, like, you don't understand. My mom's going to find me. She's going to find me.
Told Dan my age.
And he's like, you're an independent woman. You can leave. And I just kept explaining, I can't. You don't understand. I can't. My mother will find me. And he would tell me, no, I'll make sure to protect you.
She writes in this book that when she wrote her little letter to her mom, like, hey, I'm running away, yada, 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 she tells her mom she's going to St. Louis. She tells her mom she's going to St. Louis. And when I read that, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Why would she say that? If she was so worried about her mom finding her, why would you even give her an inkling of where you might be? I've made a video about this before on my TikTok. And I really believe Gypsy left little breadcrumbs for her mom to find her. I'm pretty sure she wanted Dan to do exactly what Nick did. Dan was obviously a bit more mature and a bit more, I guess, he knew right from wrong more than what Nick would have. Because again, we all know Nick had mental issues. Dan knew not to hurt Dee Dee, but Gypsy definitely left little breadcrumbs to lead her to Dan. I don't care what Gypsy says. She wanted Dan and her mom to have a confrontation. Dan was not going to be the savior she thought he was because he just let her go. However, when she said, I'm going to St. Louis, it's just like, why, girl? If I'm running away, the last thing I'm going to do is tell my mom where I am. I'll even say, hey, I'll write you. I'll let you know I'm okay, but I'm not going to tell you where I'm at. She could have just said, I'm running away and I know I'm 19. I know I don't have cancer. No, she wrote in the book, I think I don't have cancer. She's trying to cover her tracks. She knew she didn't have cancer. But yeah, I found that very interesting because it just didn't make any sense for her to say, I'm going to St. Louis. Her mom didn't have to know that. Maybe her mom wouldn't have found her. That's pretty much it for chapters 6, 7, and 8. There wasn't really a lot to talk about, so I found pieces here and there. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be going over chapters 9, 10, 11, and probably 12. I'm trying to do as many as possible to knock them out because I am not uploading these in a timely manner that I wanted to. Things keep coming up, like you guys. I'm from Philly. The Eagles won their Super Bowl. It was like Valentine's Day just yesterday. So, I'm really like busy with life at the moment. I'm just, trying to enjoy every moment. I work a lot. So any free time I get, I'm not trying to read Gypsy's book, but I had some free time today. So I read chapters 6, 7, and 8, and I'll be going over some more within the next couple of weeks. I appreciate you guys for watching. This is just what Susie says, but tell me what you say in the comments. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, share. I need some more engagement, guys. I'm really trying my best. I want to make these videos as good as possible. And if you have anything you want to say, tell me, message me. I would really love to hear from you. Also, have a great day. Until next time, bye.